What's up, guys? This week we're going to be trying to shoot a wedding with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. Is this a good idea? Probably not. We're going to give it a shot anyways.
The biggest challenges in any wedding or event shoot is twofold: being ready at a moment's notice and being extremely mobile. Here we are trying to figure out if we have the right room or not. Hotel staff was super helpful, even though we got the wrong room. Eventually we got the right one. Now there's a lot of things you can do to achieve these attributes and really get things fine-tuned. But anything really beyond being ready all the time and mobile is a stylistic choice and kind of dependent on the shooter or cinematographer.
Cool, we just finished up with the girls. We're gonna go check out the guys and see what they're up to. As far as this camera working, it's working. It's working a lot better than I thought it was going to. I was worried I was gonna have a lot of white balance issues, but it seems to be going pretty good. So some of the biggest issues I had with using the Blackmagic during the wedding were two things. One, mounting this on a gimbal took quite a bit of time and quite a bit of finesse. And beyond that, once it's on the gimbal, it's really difficult to focus. And I know that a lot of companies like Zhiyun Crane and DJI, like the Ronin S and the Movi and all these other systems, they offer like kind of a wireless geared system that hooks up to the side and you can manually focus your lenses with them. However, that adds more weight. And with such a awkward system like the Blackmagic 4K and 6K, extra weight is just not something that it can handle well. So without the ability to adjust focus on the fly on the gimbal, it's really difficult to be mobile. It's really difficult to just throw the camera on there and run around, do what you need to do. Everything really needs to be planned out. Problem number two, once this camera is on the gimbal, you know you've got about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes time, you're gonna have to pull out that battery, and anybody that knows this camera knows that those LPE6 batteries, it's 20 minutes like max. Like that's your reliable amount of time. Beyond 20 minutes, you're risking it and you might not even get to keep the file that you're shooting. That being said, every 20 minutes this thing has to come off the gimbal, take out the battery, and then rebalance it. So it just doesn't play well with the gimbal. When I was on the monopod, I was able to test out the Power Base Edge. It's a little brick that actually clicks into the bottom. It's got a V-mount on one side and it has a little bit of a dummy battery that goes in, and it's good and bad. It has its pros and cons. One thing I don't like about it is the fact that you have to take off this base plate right here just so that way the dummy battery can go in there, and I don't like taking that off. I feel like I'm gonna lose it or something like that, and I probably will. So if there's a better solution, I'd love to hear it. I know that you can use a V-mount battery, and there is the option for auxiliary power kind of in this left-hand side here where the HDMI cable plugs in. And I did test out a V-mount battery as well. I tested out a shoulder rig. These covers, super annoying. Tear them off. I just wanted to kind of really get a feel for if it was possible or practical to shoot the Blackmagic at a wedding. When it was on the monopod or tripod, it was great. There was no issues there. It was a beautiful camera to use. Gosh, I love the colors. However, when it wasn't on the tripod or monopod, it was a bear to use. I mean, handheld's not great. There's no stability. There's no in-body image stabilization, anything like that. You can use Canon lenses that have optical image stabilization, but it's it's not great. Coming from a GH5 system or a Sony system, you've just got way better stabilization there. So if I wasn't on the tripod and I wasn't on the monopod, this camera was just really difficult to use. Anything beyond that tripod monopod situation had to be extremely planned, and in an event situation or a wedding situation, extremely planned just doesn't play well with those setups. It's not going to work out. So, at the end of the day, would I recommend this for weddings? I would never do it again. That's just me. I'm done. One was enough for me. I hope you found this helpful. Hope you found it interesting. If you shoot weddings with the Blackmagic series, the 4K or the 6K, hats off to you. You guys are amazing. But for me, I'm going to stick with commercial work for them. See you guys next week.